We are transitioning in 3, 2, 1. We're live.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. It is currently 8 a.m. like normal. It is 33 degrees outside, so just above freezing, but it doesn't really feel all too bad out, despite the fact it's just a degree above freezing. We got a high of 61 degrees today, so light jacket weather. It's going to warm up this afternoon. And as far as traffic conditions are concerned, it's not bad, like at all. Traffic's flowing into Tulsa very well, so your commute's going to go pretty decent this morning. I'm kind of surprised by it. Oh, that's right. It's a holiday.
It's President's Day.
Yeah, for those of you who work in the government sector, congratulations. Or really lazy corporate jobs that take every single government holiday. So congratulations to you folks. But for the rest of us who are working, we still have a nice commute into Tulsa if you're still driving into Tulsa for work. So with that being said, what do we got coming up here in local events this week, Chad?
Local events this week. I have got, hang on one second. It's just really on the Owasso Chamber side. I have got on the 20th, there is a leadership Owasso, and that is at, I guess, time to be announced. There is no time on that yet, but it is on Tuesday, the 20th of this week.
Okay.
So
Very cool.
I'll keep updated for tomorrow if they have a time laid out. But it might just be an all-day event.
Interesting.
All right, but that's really it. There's nothing going on the Owassoism side, at least scheduled events. Nothing till March still.
Okay. Cool. Well, we don't really have a lot to talk about today. It was a really slow week and weekend as far as national news goes, which is technically a good thing. But what is the government doing, or what laws and things are they passing that we're not sure about, that they're just kind of keeping hush and under the rug? Like I was watching Jim Jordan. He was a senator on the Timcast, talk about how they pass rules through the House that basically just automatically allow bills to get passed, and he and a bunch of other people fight against that and try to change the House rules so that stuff like that doesn't happen. So basically it just means that the House can run on autopilot, while instead of people reading the bills and getting stuff done, they can go out and schmooze their donors and basically just collect money and cash checks instead of actually doing their jobs. So that's one thing that Jim Jordan was talking about last week. And then on Friday, the judges in New York unceremoniously, well, it was a kangaroo court essentially, without trial or proof, they just declared Trump guilty of, what was it?
Fraud, basically.
Fraud, yeah. They're saying that he's manipulated his wealth and his property values and whatnot. So they're, it's ridiculous that that he can't deem what the value, like they're saying that the way he deemed the value of his properties is not correct. And who's to be the judge of that? These judges that have no understanding of how, the properties in his Mar-a-Lago properties are, they're beachfront properties. They have miles of beach in front of them, and they're
back away.
And they're saying that they're not worth as much as they actually are. I don't know if anybody's ever owned a beachfront property, but the stuff is expensive. That's why the houses in the Mar-a-Lago area, even the ones that aren't right up against the beach, are upwards of like $30 million homes. So what's to say, why wouldn't his hotel and beachfront property be worth that? So it's just kind of crazy that this kangaroo court, it's obviously political. There's no real justice being done here, and it's going to get appealed. The files are going to get dropped. That's what every trustworthy lawyer I've kind of looked through has said. Unless you're a political partisan lawyer who's just like, I don't like Trump, therefore guilty, everyone sees that this is obviously going to be recalled and it's not going to do well. And even if he stayed guilty, he could just sell, like what they were talking about, 10% of his Truth Social, his social network he just launched to compete with Twitter. He could sell literally 10% of that and be done with this. So, he has FU money. He could just say, here's 10% of this company, bye, but he's going to fight it because he's got FU money too, so he can fight it as long as he wants. So that's the beauty of being as wealthy as he is. You have the money to fight this kind of stuff, is where if you're a little guy and you get caught up in some political schwarway and the courts are weaponized against you, you'll go broke fighting it. And that's what they want. But he's so wealthy that he can't really go broke. He's got 1 million properties he can sell. He's got hundreds and thousands of businesses he could sell. And you have all these people going, "Oh, he's bankrupt. He's bankrupt more businesses than he's owned." It's like, if you know anything about running a business, and this is why the most people who criticize him have never ran a business before. It's like 80% of businesses fail. If you were like, I have a business idea, odds are you wouldn't last a year. If you last 2 years, you're doing pretty good. If you last 3 years, you're above average. And if you last longer than that, you're in like a 1% of business owners. So if you've never run a business and you're criticizing someone who has hundreds of businesses and only a handful of them failed, you should really look in the mirror. So with that being said, that's really all we've got going on today in national news. And I said today, this was last week kind of stuff and stuff that was going on over the weekend. So hopefully we can pray for slower news cycles and less interesting stuff happening. Yeah. But like I said, if there's not a lot of news being spoken about, like I said, if there's a lot of news being spoken about, there's probably something going on in the background. Like it's the news of something happening is probably a distraction from what the government doesn't want you to see.
Well, there is one thing that I saw that we haven't really touched on was Putin's political opponent died in prison. Yeah. So, and everyone and all the media is talking about how, oh, that's terrible. I said, how dare Putin lock up his political opponent and he get killed in prison. And, a lot of these people are the same people who are saying Trump needs to go to jail.
Yeah. That is, yeah.
It's very ironic.
Yeah, the same people who are like Trump needs to be in prison are the same people saying how tragic that Putin's political rival is dead in jail. Like, come on, folks. Like, if you want Trump in jail, you need to look in the mirror and see that you're advocating for the exact same thing that Putin's doing. You're the tyrant. You're the dictator. Like, you have to see, like here's another thing. Joe Biden, this is something that happened last week as well. One of the people that came out and was talking about the Burisma, so the Hunter Biden Ukrainian oil deal that he had threatened. Basically, it's, if you haven't seen it and you don't know what I'm talking about, it's where Hunter Biden was appointed to the Burisma oil company board of directors for no reason. He has no oil experience. He was appointed there because of his father and his connections that he has. Nepotism at its finest. And they paid him a very heavy salary. And he said, and they found in emails and leaked documents on that laptop that they found in New York that, I'll get you meetings with the big guy. And I mean, if you don't know who the meetings with the big guy is, I mean, you're either willfully ignorant or just dumb. So whenever there's a Ukrainian DA who is investigating this corrupt company, which is Burisma, they're investigating them doing basically backdoor deals and illegal things behind the scenes. And Joe Biden went in and said, I want this DA fired. And he goes, and you're not going to get the millions of dollars in, what is it, federal loans that they had promised.
Federal loans.
Like, you're not going to get these loans that the U.S. has promised you if you don't fire this DA that's investigating the company that my son's on the chair on the board of. I mean, literally, Joe Biden literally said, and he goes, and boom, they fired the son of a gun. Like, this is on video. So this is corruption on video. If they had something like this at Trump, and I hate this whataboutism stuff, but I mean, it's true. If they had something like this where one of Donald Trump Jr. was doing this exact same thing, Trump would have been kicked out of office. But because it's Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, it's not a big deal. I mean, they had Hunter Biden on Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel's been like, he's a good guy. He's a crackhead, Like, well, none of us would be granted the grace that Hunter Biden's been given. So anyway, pushing on fast. So one of the guys that came out and had testified, it was somebody who he's a whistleblower essentially. He's said that he was that Hunter Biden was on this board and was confirming. He was one of the people that confirmed that this was a real thing. Has been put in prison by the Biden administration. So if you're a whistleblower against corruption for the Biden administration, they will jail you. So that's the level of corruption we're dealing with in this administration.
Whereas
right
if you're a whistleblower in the
And
Trump administration, you're going to get a
hero.
book deal, and
you're a hero. You're a book deal. You get a hero. All the women that come out and accuse Trump, they are there to be, again, Me Too'd. They're to be listened to and heard and believed. It's like, doesn't matter how credible they are. Doesn't matter how many years ago this was. Now, like I said, if there's some truth to it, do we need to get to it? But why wait 20 years to get to the truth? Oh, because of the Me Too era, now we can believe all women. Like, this is political hackery at its finest. It's political partisanship at its finest, and it's terrifying to see. So, if you don't think that's the case, then you're living under a rock, or you just happen to be aligned with the correct political party at the moment. And then the minute you're no longer useful to them or you're not cheering for them, it's going to be coming after you. Like, the way that the DOJ is being weaponized should terrify absolutely everyone. So we actually talked about this a little bit longer than I actually thought we would. This is kind of a subject I didn't know we would actually be getting into, but yeah. Anyway, sorry about the long tangent and the ending on a low point there, but that's about all we've got for today. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. This is the Twins with the Owasso Live. This was the Morning Loop. We are signing off. God bless y'all.